Hey guys, welcome back to the Camps channel. I'm Justin Davis, and today we're going to ride a new electric skateboard. This is a nice maple deck by a company called Yeplay out of China, and it's not $1,000 like a lot of other really expensive name brand electric longboards out there, but this one is super nice. It does have a really nice range on it. It has a really nice Canadian maple deck on here with really awesome looking grip tape, extra large wheels for those cracks in the sidewalks, and they custom engraved our YouTube channel name on here. It's got an AC outlet for charging up the board, an on-off switch at the back of the board with a battery indicator light on the bottom. And this is one of those decks that has a really nice cutout around the wheel so you don't get wheel bite when you're making a hard carve or a turn. And these guys did the grip tape on this board exactly right. It's not overly grippy. It doesn't have too much coarse grain in the grip tape, and it really actually feels like skateboard grip tape. But the best way to do any review is to go outside and ride it. So let's go outside and ride this Yeplay board now. I'll show you some riding footage. We'll talk about this board on the ride, and we'll show you some drone footage of this board as well from the air. Here we go. Alright guys, we're out on the street now with the Yeplay M1. This is about a $250 board, but what's cool about it is that it does have a 23 mile/hour speed on it, and it gets up to 14 miles on one single charge. So you're going to put in your charger right here. It comes along in the box. You can see the M1 logo there and my awesome logo in the middle. You can also see underneath here where you can see the battery charge. But I think the best thing about this board is the fact that the M1 on their site is only like $250 right now for this one. So one of the cheaper and better riding longboards out there on the internet right now. There's a lot of China cheapy electric longboards. It seems like a lot of these guys are using the same type of wheel gear drive system. It does have a brushless motor inside the hub of this wheel, so it's going to give you a pretty good power. I do think this probably has maybe about a middle range power as compared to some of the other ones that I've ridden recently. So I wouldn't say it's the weakest board out there, but it's not the most powerful board out there either. But let's go ahead and take a ride on it first. I'll show you a little bit of riding, we'll show some drone footage of it, and then we'll do some uphill tests as well. So right now I'm starting out in that low mode, and you can see the high and low mode on the transmitter right here. It does have a little bit of a strap on it, which is cool, and you have 3 different percentages on here for your battery status: 10%, 60%, and 100%. You also have a Wi-Fi connection. It looks like a little blinking green light on this remote. It just lets you know that you're connected to the board. But one thing I forgot to show you, which is really cool, is the fact that if the board is off and you put the board down, once the wheels move, the board turns on automatically. So if your transmitter is already on, you're ready to skate, which is a super nice option. So starting off in low mode now, I'm just gonna go cruise through this intersection, and I'm full throttle right now, and it feels like I'm doing about 10 to 12 miles an hour in low mode. That's not too bad. So now I can switch up to high. Just gonna press that little button down and move the remote a little further. And if you press it really quickly, it'll actually kind of pitch you backwards. So you have to be careful about that. And right now we're gonna go get some lunch because it's lunchtime, and this board is gonna take me on my lunch break, which is great. Thanks a lot, Yeplay. Uh-oh, stop sign. You can pull back on your brake just like that and let somebody go by. So the brake is kind of a little bit touchy. So if you pull back on the brake too much, it's gonna kind of pitch you off the board like that, which I don't like a whole lot. So you have to get used to the brake. You really have to just pull back gently on this little throttle stick right here. And it'll bring you to a slower stop. But if you're in a situation where you have to stop fast, that's not going to be super great on a longboard. An electric longboard is really kind of hard to hold yourself on there pressing full back on the brake. They really do pitch you off sometimes. But right now I'm riding in that high mode, and I really do like high mode the best because I can get up to 20 miles an hour on this. I wasn't able to get up to 23, but 20 is actually pretty fast. And if it does go 14 miles today, I'll be pretty impressed. I'll let you know about the range that I got with it for a real-time test because my battery is totally charged up right now. Now right now I'm riding in high mode, so we're gonna test out some traffic riding with the Yeplay board. The M1 is not too bad in traffic. It's a little bit windy right now, so hopefully the audio is working. And I'm just gonna come up to speed here. Not bad. And if you want to slow down a little bit on the sidewalk, this board will slow down a lot and let you kind of maneuver in between people. So it's not a bad sidewalk board. It's a little bit surfy, but not too much. You can loosen up the trucks a lot, and that will give it more of a surfy feel. But I think the way that it comes, I'm around 150 pounds, and it does feel pretty maneuverable. So I'm coming up on some kind of construction stuff, so I'm gonna go back on the street for a little bit. Big crack. Lots of free stuff and big cracks. Whoa! I don't think I can make it across that. Now, one thing I do have to say I like about the board a lot is the fact that the extra weight on here seems to give me a little bit better control on Portland's really crappy sidewalks. They have really terrible sidewalks with a lot of big cracks and gaps, so a little bit bigger wheels and a heavier board, I just kind of bounce right over a lot of the cracks and gaps. So I wanted to let you guys know I did figure out that there is 3 modes on here. I thought there was 2, but there's actually 3. There's a low mode, a medium mode, and a high mode. So my sidewalk mode is kind of usually in low mode if I want to go slow with control. If I want to get out around in neighborhoods without really going too fast, I put it in medium mode. And if I really want to get on the highway and go fast and move with traffic, I want to go over 20 miles an hour, I go in that high speed mode. That works the best on the highway. So let's talk about some final thoughts about this board. The Yeeplay M1 is actually a pretty decent longboard, an electric longboard that's gonna get you across town. It's more of a commuter board in my opinion. It's not like a super fancy short board or anything high-tech electronic on it, but it does have that little bar right here which indicates how far you've been, and I've only used 1 bar in all the riding that I've done today, but I've had this board for about 3 weeks now, and I was able to probably get around 14 miles on the range, but I am also 150 pounds, so you got to keep that in consideration. Guys that are like 200 pounds, you can definitely ride this board because the dual brushless motors in the back will get you up a hill. I swear they will. They're pretty powerful. In the high speed mode, you have to be really careful with the throttle because it's kind of twitchy, and when you press on the throttle, if you do it too quickly and not just a little bit gradually at a time, it will pitch you off the back of the board. It's actually pretty powerful, so keep that in mind. If you're a new person to skating, you haven't skated before much and you're getting one of these electric longboards, start off in that low mode right here all the way up, because all the way down is super powerful and probably too much for you to handle, and you're probably going to end up wiping out. But again, it is a brushless in the wheel motor driven board. You have dual motors in here, and it's not like a boosted board, where a boosted board has sort of a belt drive system on there, and they do have a dual motor version as well. But you know what? You don't have to replace any of the belts on this one. You would just have to replace one of the wheels completely. You would have to replace the entire wheel, but these wheels do come apart, and you can pop this off and you can put new wheels on this. If you wanted to put a new different style of wheel on here, you can. But it does appear to have parts on here that I've seen on other manufactured boards coming out of China, and that's not a super big deal to me. I do like the shape of this board. It looks a little different than some of the other shapes I've seen out there, and having some new type of deck is always awesome for me. But it also has a bit of concave, just a tiny little bit of concave, and that's nice for keeping your feet on the deck. It also has two wider spots where your feet are gonna go, left and right. And the biggest thing about a longboard, if you're getting into electric skating, you want to start out with something like a longboard and not the shorter new boosted board. That $750 boosted board is like way shorter than the original. That means that when you're moving your feet around on the board, if you step back a little bit, if you've ever stepped off the back of a skateboard while you're riding, it's a really terrible experience. Don't try it. It really hurts a lot, because you're gonna do the splits doing like 20 miles an hour. Not cool. So a longboard is a great one to start out with. I think you guys are gonna have a much more comfortable ride on a longer electric skateboard. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching this review. This is my YeePlay M1, and I'm stoked to have it. So I'm gonna take it home now and finish my riding for the day. Thanks again. Please do subscribe on the channel. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.